Here at Cheddar, we talk a lot about the environment and our own carbon footprint. It's also Earth Month, and so to kick things off, we've got climate VC and founder of Siam Capital, Sita Chandra Manklasri. Sita, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me, Kristen. I'm very excited to be here.
Big month, I'm sure, for your firm.
Yes.
Talk to me more about your goals.
So, I think Earth Month is a really interesting month just because it's a moment in time where you can kind of spotlight some of the areas that we're looking at. I wouldn't say that our goals this month is any different than any other month. We're actively looking at companies. We're actively really trying to also just internally and through our own communities help change the narrative around making sure people think about sustainability investing really as a proxy for smart investing.
And is that your ethos, what you're pursuing at your firm?
Yes, so we invest specifically at the intersection of what we call the sustainability transition and the consumption infrastructure. It's really driven by this premise that either by choice or by necessity, be it regulatory or prices really, consumers will have to change eventually every facet of their lives. If consumers change their behavior, that will force businesses to change the way they do business. And that's really how we think about the sustainability transition.
What are companies that you are invested in that fit this goal?
So there's a number that we're particularly excited about. I'll give a couple of examples. So one that's more so on the software space. So there's a lot of regulation, especially over the last couple of years, that is really forcing businesses in the beauty and the skincare space to reformulate their products, to not include certain products. And this is what it's essentially doing, is shifting companies to reformulate their products. So we're seeing a lot of scalable solutions that are really software solutions or SaaS business models to help them, instead of sitting down with a very labor-intensive process, reformulate that using software. And it also helps them essentially source these cleaner ingredients. That company is called Novi. Another company we're very excited about is called Helena. It's a company that sits also at this intersection. They're really leveraging yeast fermentation to create a new protein found in breast milk that can essentially improve the nutrition quality of infant formula. So a lot of better for the planet and better for the world. Better for the planet and better for the people solutions.
I like this. So certainly sustainability is at the forefront of this, but it sounds like from an efficiency standpoint, technology may be as well. How is your company assessing artificial intelligence as it relates to the companies that you've invested in for good?
Oh, 100%. I mean, at the core of so much of what these companies are doing is really trying to leverage the existing infrastructure and technology innovation to be able to make sustainability strides in a way that uses less resources over time. And I think one of the other things that's worth mentioning as well, and we talk about this all the time, is trying to find solutions in sustainability that are actually long-term cost effective. Because there's no solution that is long-term sustainable if it's not cost effective. And I'm sure there's a lot of narrative in the market and in the political sphere that can also corroborate that. So to go back to your question around AI, I mean, it's a huge tool. We're able to compute so much more with fewer resources. And we're seeing innovation across the board, be it through agricultural technology, food technology, really any way that we can leverage compounding data in a way that we don't have to historically be able to do it in a, I would say, like much more manual way. So we're really seeing a lot of AI applications across the broad spectrum of sustainability sector companies.
So is that crucial for companies that you invest in, that they're at least considering how to integrate AI into their business?
It's a great question. It's a tough question to dissect, and I'll be very honest in that it just really depends.
Yeah.
If you're a business model where you don't need to leverage AI because the technology in the space is too nascent or it's not essentially relevant.
Sure.
It's not something they should consider. I think more so it's thinking about how the broad strokes of it is going to change the space. So in short, yes, but it always depends. And I think we're in this climate where, AI is the hot topic, but AI has been around for decades.
Right.
And thinking about it in a way that how is it digestible to relevant data in climate is really the thing that we're trying to understand.
I'd love to get your take. Obviously, we see interest rates elevated. One of the reasons that the stock market is down today is on the expectation that rates might stay higher for longer. For some businesses that don't have strong balance sheets, that's not sustainable. For businesses that are more well capitalized, they can try to weather that storm.
Yeah.
But another topic that is really a focus for markets this year is the election. And
100%.
with President Biden in office now, he's been very friendly, I would say, toward climate, sustainability, renewables as well, facing off against former President Trump in November. How could that impact your approach to investing in companies?
You bring up a very, dare I say, contentious subject around a lot of us who are in this space. I think the reality is we're at a point in time where the impact of climate and the inevitability of the sustainable transition is frankly that. It's inevitable. But we've also been in this sort of market where it's been politicized. And even the term sustainability, and by proxy, the term ESG, has somewhat become, dare I say, like a dirty word. So I definitely think that the policy, the regulatory environment is going to impact how we think about investing in this space. It doesn't change the overall mandate. I think what it does is it refocuses our attention on companies that are able to bring forth or surface their attention to profitability and strong financial models earlier on. Because the truth is, we don't know how long we'll have these super friendly regulatory environments.
Right.
So we have to back companies that we think can weather the storm regardless of the regulatory condition.
What is the stage of investing that your firm focuses on? Is it early stage, late stage, companies that might be on track to IPO?
So we are, at Siam Capital, we are a multi-stage firm. However, we have a bias towards partnering with founders early. It could be as early as the seed stage. Most of our investments, I will say, are at the Series A and Series B stage. And for the most part, unless you're really lucky, they're not going public just yet. But there are a couple of lucky ones where we're crossing our fingers at. And we'll see how the market shapes up. But it's all correlated. How the public markets behave has a massive impact on how private markets.
What are some of the companies that would be potentially closer to IPOing within your portfolio?
That's unfortunately not something that we can discuss, and not because there's anything sort of secretive about it, but a lot of these conversations, I would say, are very much ongoing, and I think that the nature of it is the markets could change anytime, so we just want to be very, very careful about which ones we're priming for their debut day, if you will.
Sita, I hope you'll come back and join us as your companies grow and your investment portfolio expands. That's Sita Chandramanlas. Clarcy.
You got it.
I got it close. That one didn't have the phonetics in there. Thank you, Sita. She's a climate VC and founder of Siam Capital.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sita. We really appreciate it.